Good day, everyone. This is Chesa Heron, and I am going to report about Chapter 6 of our book reference, Finding Conclusions, Recommendations, and Future Works. Here are our learning outcomes. Analyze and interpret research findings objectively, identifying key patterns, trends, and relationships within the data that address research questions or hypotheses. Draw valid and well-supported conclusions based on analyzed data, ensuring that conclusions are aligned and research objectives, findings, and theoretical frameworks. Acquire skills in formulating practical and evidence-based recommendations derived from research findings, and this includes identifying implication for policy, practice, or future research based on the study's outcome, and effectively communicate research findings, conclusions, and recommendations to diverse audiences through written reports, presentations, and other appropriate formats. And lastly, engage in critical analysis and evaluation of research findings, considering limitations, alternate interpretations, and implication for advancing knowledge and addressing research gaps. As an introduction, findings, conclusions, and recommendations are integral components of the research process, collectively serving to summarize and synthesize the outcomes and implications of the study. Findings represent the result of data analysis and interpretation conducted during the research study. It is also presented in a factual and objective manner, detailing key observation, patterns, relationships, and trends identified within the data. Summary of findings is a comprehensive yet concise section typically found in an academic research paper, reports, or studies. This section aims to provide an overview of the main outcomes and insights derived from the research without delving into the detailed discussion of analysis. Here are the list of structured breakdown of summary of findings. The first one is introduction. Introduction is the brief introduction of the research topic and its objectives, reminding the readers of the context or the purpose of the study. The second one is research question or hypothesis. It reiterates the primary research questions or hypothesis that guides the investigation, providing a framework for the findings. The third one is methodology overview. It is the concise recap of the research methodology, outlining the approach, sample size, data collection methods, and analytical techniques used. Then the next one is the key findings. Key findings has two types, which is the general findings and specific findings. Under the general findings, these are the overview of the broad trends or general patterns observed in the data, while specific findings are the detailed points on specific results addressing each research question or a hypothesis individually. The fifth one is quantitative data result. It summarizes statistical results such as means, percentages, correlations, and significance levels, highlighting the most impactful numbers, while the qualitative data result summarizes themes, patterns, and narratives uncovered during the analysis, often including direct quotations or case examples to illustrate key points. Then, comparative analysis, summary of comparison made within the data, such as a difference between groups, change over time, or variations between different variables or categories. Eighth on the list is unexpected findings. This is the discussion of any surprising or anticipated result that emerged during the research, which may provide new avenue for further study. The next one is theoretical implications. It outlines of how the findings contributes to existing theories or frameworks within the field, including any modifications or extension to current understandings. Then practical implication addresses the real-world application of the findings, suggesting how they can be implemented in practice, policy making, or further research. While the limitations of the study is the brief acknowledgement of the study's limitation, such as sample size, methodological constraint, or potential biases and their impact on the findings. Recommendations for the practitioners, policymakers, or researchers outlining actionable steps or future research direction. Then third thing on the list is conclusion. It reiterating the most critical findings and their significance, trying everything back to research objectives and questions. Then visual aids includes tables, graphs, or charts that visually represent key data points, trends, or comparisons to enhance clarity and comprehensions. Then contextualization, it is the places the findings within the border context of the field, comparing them to existing literature and highlighting similarities or differences. And next one is stakeholders' impact. It is the discussion of how the findings affects various stakeholders such as specific communities, industries, or demographic groups. Then ethical consideration, summarizing any ethical issues encountered during the research and how they were addressed, ensuring transparency and integrity. Then for future research directions, it is the suggestion for future research based on gaps identified during the study or new questions that emerge from findings. Then the next one is cross-disciplinary relevance. It highlights any interdisciplinary implication of the findings, showing how they might be relevant to other fields of study. And the last one for summary of findings is final thoughts. It is the closing remarks that encapsulate the overall importance and potential impact of the research, encouraging ongoing dialogues and exploration in the field. Here's an example of summary of finding statements on the effectiveness of e-governance initiatives in improving public service delivery in urban municipalities. This example is from our reference book, Advanced Research Method. The next topic is conclusion. The conclusion section serves as a final synthesis of the study, where key insights, interpretations, and implications are highlighted. This section consolidates the findings, reflects on their significance, and often suggests direction for future research or practical applications. This comprehensive structure ensures that the conclusion section is thorough, well organized, and addresses all critical aspects of the research. Here are the detailed breakdown of what typically comprises the conclusion section. Number one is the restate the research purpose. Restating briefly the purpose and objective of the research sets the stage for the conclusions and reminds the readers of the study's main focus. The second one is summary of key findings. It is a high-level overview of concise summary of the most significant findings rather than a detailed recap, emphasizing the result that most directly address the research question or the hypothesis. The third one is interpretation of findings. It explains and discusses the implication of the key findings, what the results mean in the context of the research problem, and how they contribute to the existing body of knowledge. Then the fourth one is theoretical contributions. It highlights any new theories, model, or frameworks that have emerged from the study, and as well as practical implication explains and discuss the practical application of the findings, how the result can be used in the real-world setting, such as in industry, policymaking, education, or other relevant areas. Addressing the research question explains how the findings provide answers or insights by revisiting each questions or hypothesis, ensuring that each question is explicitly addressed. Then the strength of the study, it highlights the strengths and unique contribution of the study by including methodological innovations, comprehensive data collections, or robust analysis techniques. Then for uh, limitations and weaknesses, it discusses how this limitation might affect the interpretation of the findings and suggest ways they could be addressed in the future research by acknowledging the limitation and weaknesses of the study. The next is comparison with previous research. It highlights similarities and differences and discusses potential reasons for any discrepancies by comparing the findings with those of previous studies. And implication for practice provides specific recommendations for practitioners based on the findings that could include new practices, strategies, or intervention that can be implemented. For policy implications, it explains how the findings could inform policy decisions and contribute to the development of effective policies. While recommendation for future research suggests areas for future research, identify gaps in the current study that needs further exploration, and propose specific research questions or topics for future studies. Ethical consideration discuss the ethical implication of the findings and any recommendation for ethical practice in the future research. Implication for stakeholders, it highlights any benefits or challenges that stakeholder might face as a result of the findings. Then for methodological reflection, it discusses any strengths and weaknesses of the chosen method and suggests potential improvements. While the cross-disciplinary implication discuss how the result may inform or benefit other fields of studies. The next one is personal reflection. It includes unexpected learnings, challenges faced, or key takeaways. For the conclusion, reinforce the main contribution and potential impact of the study. And final remarks, provide any final remarks or closing thoughts that might include a call to action, a statement on the importance of ongoing research, or a reflection on the broader implication of the study. Then for the summary of recommendation, it serves as a quick reference for readers looking for actionable insights. The next one is call for collaborations. It highlights the importance of working together to implement the findings and address the research problem. Also reflect on research process, discuss any significant learnings or experiences that might inform future research practices. Then addressing unresolved questions, it identifies any unresolved questions or areas of ambiguity. Then for the broader impact, it explains how the findings contributes to the wider community or the society at large. Then the last one for conclusion section is the final thought. It ends with a thought-provoking statement or question that leaves the readers with something to ponder that could be related to the ongoing importance of the research topic or the potential for future rediscoveries. Attached here also is the example of conclusion statement on the effectiveness of e-governance initiatives in improving public service delivery in urban municipalities. The next topic is recommendations. The recommendation section is crucial for translating the finding into actionable insight and suggestion for future work, policy, or practice. This section outlines the specific step that should be taken based on the research outcome. Here are the detailed breakdown of what recommendation section might include. The first one is introduction. Introduction begin by briefly restating the primary objective of the research and summarizing the findings. General recommendation is a broad suggestion that address the primary research questions or hypotheses. Specific recommendation for practice includes new practices, techniques, or interventions that can be implemented based on the findings, while the policy recommendation provides a specific suggestion for policy changes or other or new policies that could address the issues highlighted by the research. The next one is recommendation for future research. This section could include new research questions, unexplored variables, or different methodologies. While the recommendation for education and training, this might include curriculum changes, new training modules, or professional development initiatives. Then for technology and innovative recommendation, it suggests specific technological innovation or tools that can be developed or adapted. For recommendation for community engagement, it could involve community programs, outreach initiatives, or partnership with community organization. Then recommendation for organization might include changes in organizational policies, practices, and structures. Recommendation for health and well-being provides specific recommendation for healthcare providers, public health initiatives, or wellness programs. Then environmental recommendation includes recommendation for sustainable practices, conservation efforts, or environmental policies. Ethical and legal recommendation provides recommendation for ethical practice, legal compliance, or regulatory changes. Then, economic recommendation discuss the economic implications of the findings and provide specific recommendations for economic policy, business strategy, or financial planning. For the recommendation for collaboration, it tackles the benefit of working together to implement the findings, foster collaboration between different stakeholders such as the researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and the community. There are also recommendations for communication and dissemination. This includes publication, presentations, or media outreach that provide strategies for effective communicating and disseminating the research findings to various audiences. Recommendation for data management includes the data collection, analysis, and sharing based on the research experience. The next one would be recommendation for monitoring and evaluation. It provides specific metrics on indicators to assess progress and impacts. While recommendation for cultural sensitivity, if applicable, this could include cultural appropriate practices, materials, or engagement strategies. Then it could also have recommendation for resource allocation that provides specific suggestion for finding staffing or other resources of how resources should be allocated to support the implementation of the findings. Then the next one would be recommendation for risk management. These identify potential risks associated with implementing the findings and provide strategies for mitigating these risks. Then recommendation for equity and inclusion provides specific recommendation for promoting fairness and reducing disparities. For recommendation for long-term impact, it includes sustainability plans, ongoing supports, or follow-up studies that ensures the long-term impact of the research findings. Then recommendation for stakeholder engagement includes stakeholders meetings, advisory groups, or participatory approaches that suggest ways to engage stakeholders in the implementation process. Then final recommendation summary provides a concise summary of all the recommendation made that serves as a quick reference for readers looking for actionable insights. Then the final topic is closing remarks. So it ends with a strong concluding paragraph that reinforces the importance of the recommendation and highlights the potential impact of implementing this suggestion and encourage ongoing dialogues and actions. Here is an example of recommendation statement on the effectiveness of e-governance initiatives in providing public service delivery in urban municipalities. The last topic of this chapter is about future works. Future works in a research, thesis, or capstone project is the subsequent step or areas for further investigation that emerge from the current research findings. This section highlights the potential direction for continued study and development based on the conclusions and limitations of the current work. It also provides a roadmap for expanding or refining the research and often suggests practical or theoretical contributions that could be made. By identifying these future directions, researchers can contribute to the ongoing advancement of knowledge and ensure that their work continue to have a meaningful impact. Identifying gaps and limitations. For future work often begin with a recognition of the gaps or limitation in the current research that may include unanswered questions, methodological limitation, and scope limitation. Under unanswered question, these are areas where the research has not fully answered certain questions or explored all facets of the topic. And for methodological limitation, constraints related to the research method or the data collection technique that could be addressed in future study. While in scope limitations, these are the aspects of the research that were constrained by time, resources, or data availability. And the second one is the expanding on current findings. Future research can build on the findings of the current study by future exploration, testing generalizability, and developing new hypotheses. And further exploration, conducting additional studies to explore aspects of the research that were not briefly addressed or that require more in-depth analysis, while testing generalizability, applying the research findings to different contexts, populations, or settings to test their generalizability and robustness. Then for developing new hypotheses, it formulates new hypotheses based on the result of the current study and designing experiments to test this hypothesis. For the third one, enhancing methodological approaches, future work might involve improving or refining the methodologies used in the current research, such as innovative techniques, enhanced data collection, and longitudinal studies. Under innovative techniques, utilizing new or advanced techniques for data collection and analysis that were not available or feasible during the initial study. For enhanced data collection, employing more comprehensive or diverse data collection method to provide richer or more nuanced insights. Then for longitudinal studies, it's conducting longitudinal studies to observe changes over time and better understand the long-term effect. Number 4 is addressing practical implications. Future research often focuses on translating findings into practical application. The first one is policy recommendation. In policy recommendation, investigating how research findings can inform policy changes or recommendation. And industry application, exploring ways to apply research results to industry practices produce development or service improvements, while community impact, assessing how the research can benefit or impact specific communities or the group. Number 5 is interdisciplinary approaches. Interdisciplinary approaches, future works might involve integrating interdisciplinary approach to gain a more comprehensive understanding, doing collaborative research and cross-disciplinary method. Under collaborative research, collaborating with researchers from different disciplines to address complex problems from multiple perspectives. Then cross-disciplinary methods apply methods from other fields to enhance the analysis or interpretation of the research findings. Number 6 is theoretical contribution. Under theoretical contribution, this building on theoretical frameworks can be significant focus for future research. The first one is theory development. It extends or refines existing theories based on new findings and insights, while conceptual exploration investigate new concepts or models that emerge from research results. Then number 7 is exploring alternative explanations. Future research can address alternative explanations or interpretations on the findings based on comparative studies and alternative models. Comparative studies conducting studies that compare findings with those from other research to validate or challenge existing conclusions, while alternative models testing alternative theoretical models or frameworks that might explain the findings effect or differently. Improving research design. Future work might aim to improve the research design for more robust outcomes. First one is design refinements and enhanced sampling. Under design refinements, it refines research design element based on feedback and limitation identified in the current study, while enhanced sampling improves sampling techniques to ensure more representative or diverse data. Number 9 is integrating technological advancement. Utilizing advancement in technology can enhance future research, such as advanced analytics, emerging technologies, and advanced analytics incorporating advanced data or computational tools to gain deeper insight from the data, while emerging technologies leveraging new technologies or platform for data collection, analysis, or dissemination. Number 10 is expanding research collaboration. Future research might benefit from expanded collaborations, such as multi-institutional projects, engaging in multi-institutional or international research projects to gain broader perspective and resources, and stakeholder engagement, collaborating with stakeholders including industry, professionals, policymakers, and community groups to ensure research relevance and applicability. In conclusion, this chapter provides suggestions for conducting the study. It describes the discussion of findings, reviews, and expands on what has been learned as a direct result of the study. Conclusions are inferences based on the result of the study and must be clearly linked to findings. The task of researchers is to add to knowledge by analyzing data, explaining the results within relevant context, and making references and appropriate recommendations that link directly to findings. Findings for each research question should be summarized separately. Recommendations may include suggestions for change in policy or practice based on the findings of the study, and may include recommendations for further study. Some insights from the study may indirectly imply the need for change. However, discussion of such insights should be should be within the context of the need for further study rather than for a change in policy or practice. For this report, my book reference is Advanced Research Method by Dr. Abante. Thank you.